Hello, Internet, YouTubes. One of the things I hear complained about most in Warframe is spy missions. Spy missions are typically not always required, but they get in the way. Lots of them are located before you have access to invisibility, because Loki becomes first available on Neptune, and you can't farm Avara until after you've passed Neptune, because but most of spy vaults can be done without invisibility, so I'm going to show off pretty much all of them, except the Orb Valis ones, because they are difficult to find, because I can't guarantee their spawn, and I'm bad at them because I don't see them enough. So, what I'm going to do, I don't have a normal Excalibur, I'm just going to have my Excalibur Umbra, a bow. It can be any bow, just not Cernos Prime. I'm picking Dread because I have it, and it's simple. It's not the Rakta Cernos, so it doesn't have a Syndicate proc that could help me through these missions. And I'm going to be doing as few things that would be unavailable to a player on each mission. So the 3 spots that spawn unique Grineer Spy Vaults are Cambria on Earth, Rosalind on Uranus, and Pago on the Kuva Fortress. Each of them only have 3 spy vaults that can spawn in any given mission. There are plenty of other, any mission that doesn't have a unique spy vault has a larger pool to choose from. There are only 3 for each for Earth, Uranus, and the Fortress. This is going to be recorded continuously, so the jump cuts might be a little awkward. But I'll be skipping all the parts where I'm not saying something important or in the spy vault itself. So we've made our way to the first spy vault.
You're nearing the console.
This one features a large pool, several enemies.
Keep moving. None of the scanners have detected.
So you want to take out those enemies. I took that guy out from the distance because I know I have the damage for it on this bow. Pretty much just point strike on a Dread will one-shot anything at this level. So there are 3 consoles to be hacked to drain the water. And once you've done that, you can go down to the lower levels where there is usually a sensor regulator patrolling. That was a sensor bar laser gate that my Sentinel has very kindly taken out for me. I don't know why this sensor regulator isn't spawning. There is one skip here regarding, I believe it's this pipe. Occasionally the way up top is open, occasionally you can get in from here. I haven't found it reliably, but that's the way through. Otherwise, you just hack them indoor.
Excellent work. A clean section with no alarms.
And that is the first vault. These don't spawn in any particular order, so it could come first, second, or third. Here we have the second Earth spy vault.
Nearby. If you trigger the alarms now, the enemy will start destroying data.
There's not really a skip for this one. You just kind of have to make your way through. The easiest way is to extend the bridge by blowing out these consoles. This console here, I don't know what it does. I usually hack it, just in case. Did that turn off the air vent? These air vents will launch you to the higher levels. You can use them to skip the bridge parts, but you can kind of bullet jump over them anyway. Sometimes there's laser gates here, sometimes there's sensor regulators, sometimes it's just an enemy. But once you reach the top, you just complete the vault.
Data extracted. They won't even know it's gone.
So we have reached the third and final
Trigger the alarms now, and they will
Earth
start
Spy Vault.
destroying the data.
Laser gates spawn here. Avoid them. They can spawn there. Here in the water. Looks like only 2 have spawned this time. That guy pretty much always needs to die if you weren't bugging out. There is a very simple skip on this one. You can punch through that gate and just drop right into the spot. But since that's no fun, the normal way through this is to make your way to the bottom of this incline, avoiding all the laser gates. I think the other skip involves this elevator. Yeah. Well, it's not really a skip, it's just... There are 2 paths. You can either go under the elevator or through this electrified room. It hurts. Wall latch and bullet jump your way through. And that is all of the spy vaults that can spawn on Earth. Next, we have Rosalind on Uranus. Featuring, again, only 3 possible vaults.
Tenno, you are here to infiltrate data vaults and retrieve highly
all of
sensitive
which
enemy
can be
information.
completed using only Ava. And here we have made our way to the first Uranus spy vault. Once again, these do not spawn in any particular order. The most effective way through this one is to take out that guy there, jump up into the ceiling, and through these grates. Watch out, there are laser sensors here. You can slide underneath them fairly easily. You can reliably slide under them, or even crouch walk, on the side of the laser sensor. There are 2 enemies that patrol the inside of the vault. You want to take them out with headshots, or at least in one hit, so that they don't start crying about it and set off the alarms. That's the first Uranus spy vault. There's another way through, but it's not easy or reliable. And I've only had to do it once, because the skip was blocked off in a sortie mission. So, just, you'll probably never need to know that. Here we have
the
second
If you trigger the
Grenier
alarms now,
C-Lab
the enemy will
spy
start to
vault.
data.
This one is the one that requires the most use of actually being stealthy and not just rushing through, because on each level there is a sensor regulator that will detect you. That one's an Xmas, so I'm not actually going to take the risk of shooting it, even though I could probably one-shot it with my dread. So what you need to do on each level is find the reinforced glass and just pop it out with a silent weapon, otherwise enemies will hear you and potentially stop it. Why do I keep getting stuck here? Caps lock to make it work harder. You'll find the second level, you'll want to jump into these caves on the side, particularly the left one. Watch out for that sensor
You are
regulator.
surrounded by Grenier Marines.
And over here on the side are 2 more reinforced glass windows. They will clear out the sensor regulator on this level. They allow you to use your arc ring to climb up to the final level. Am I crouched? The easiest way to get these shots off is to swap your shouldering with H, pop out the windows, and just fly away to the top. There is usually an enemy or 2 up here. Occasionally one mans that rampart, just to, make life nice for you.
Excellent
And that
work.
is the second
Clean extraction
spy
with
vault
no
that can
weapons.
spawn in the Grenier Sea Lab. I entirely forgot. The moon has unique spy vaults. I'll have to cover those too. This is the third and final vault
You're
that
nearing
can
the
spawn,
console.
or that does
Trigger
spawn,
the
in
alarms
the
now,
Grenier
and
Sea
they
Lab.
will start destroying the data.
And it is just an arcwing maze. You go down to the left, you'll see that there are turbines here. You don't want to get caught in the turbines because they will flush you into laser beams. So just time so that you're avoiding the turbines. You don't need speed mods on your arcwing. I do have them on there, so that's why I'm having to stop and slow down. The base speed is fast enough to get through the maze without encountering any open turbines if you start right as the first one ends. And there you go. There's no skip to this. It's possible to destroy the turbines, but I've never found that to be effective.
Excellent work.
Thirdly, we have the Kuva Fortress, Pago, with its own unique spy vaults. I'm actually not confident in my ability to do the moon vaults without invisibility, but I'll do my best. Just to
Tenno,
show that
you are
it can
here
be
to
done.
infiltrate data and retrieve highly sensitive enemy
Since
information.
having your operator is a requirement to access the Kuva Fortress, you can use your operator's invisibility to stealth through certain parts of it. I would not rely on that. I don't know if operators can be seen by the fortress scanners. In fact, let me find one that's... There we go. Can a stealth operator be
Be on the
detected?
lookout for increased
Nope.
security measures.
Stealth operators cannot be detected by fortress sensors. That is good to know. You can use that for... Did I going the wrong way? Or void shifted, not necessarily stealthed. You can use that for temporary invisibility if you need it, if you don't feel comfortable with the skips, although they are fairly simple. And oops.
The target console is nearby. If you
This is
trigger
the
alarms
only
now, the enemy will
tile,
start
or the only
destroying
map
data.
with a unique spy vault that has any ordinality to it. There are 2 that can spawn either first or second, but there is one that always spawns last. This is the skip. It is not reliable. You go through here, go down there, and you're in the spy vault. Actually, you go through here, go down here, go through the tunnels, and up there is the spy vault. It's not reliable. It spawns twice in a row for me right now, but I almost never see it when I'm just doing spy for fun, so don't rely on that. There is a scanner here. It is nothing to worry about. There are no mechanics in this room. You just go behind it. What you do need to worry about is that sensor regulator and the 2 heavy enemies that spawn on the ground floor. Actually, sometimes there's 3. There is a bailiff that spawns up there. You can ignore it entirely. There is also always a heavy enemy in the vault. Just take them out, and there you are.
Data extracted. They won't.
I would say always ignore the
You're
bailiff,
nearing the console.
because bows
Trigger the
are
alarms now.
typically
They will start destroying
not
data.
able to one-shot a bailiff, even with a headshot. I doubt I could do it on my heavily modified Raktus Cernos. So this is the second spy vault. The normal way to do it, if you are invisible, which you entirely can be by this point, because you've passed both Loki and Avara, is you raise these things up off the map, you hack these, and you progress counterclockwise through the rooms. I will show off the rooms, but the skip, which I will be doing since I am not invisible, is to hop down to these pylons below and blow out all of the circuit breakers. There are 3, just as there are 3 rooms. In this second room there is always a heavy enemy. There's a fortress scanner that gets in the way. You can use invisibility to stand. That console has to be hacked to open that door. Ah, great.
Alarms have been triggered.
Didn't know I'm here
You need to
because I
retrieve
was
that
showing
data
off.
before the data destruction is complete.
So, third room, third pylon. I was showing off, so now I've, played myself here. Just jump into the spy vault. The third room is like the first room, except there are more patrolling enemies,
The data is still intact.
and there are laser sensors all over the console that has to be hacked. So this is the third spy vault. It always spawns third. You can either go counterclockwise along the right side of the room, hacking your way through, or you can go downstairs and avoid sensor regulators. Shrapnel points. Let's see. You can use their laser beams to tell where they are, so that you can avoid them. They like to turn around, so I would typically try to stay out of view of them,
Alarms.
as I
Data
have
destruction
just
is imminent.
demonstrated.
You need to hurry.
I was doing so well in the first recording, but the sound was messed up because I had microphone listening on, and it just doubles my voice,
Data
which
integrity
nobody
verified.
wants.
Retrieval was successful. We have everything we came for. Get to extraction.
The other way through is to avoid all the sensors. There should be a console to hack in here, because this door is supposed to unlock. But since I've already completed the vault, I don't know what it's doing. But so you can just skip it. You can skip it entirely. What you do, or have to do at the very least, is hack this panel. Try to start your hack as the sensor beam is moving to the right of it. That is your longest gap if you are not invisible, and once you're there, you're just into the vault. The last set of unique spy vaults takes place here on Pavlov, on the moon. If I sound frustrated, it's because I've now failed twice to get a good recording. Yay. The first time I actually messed up.
You avoid these lasers because they stun you. And it might actually make me fail this vault. Oh my gosh. They're stunning me off the ledge. That's gonna... might seriously...
The second time it's because I can't remember patterns.
Abort the mission.
Tenno,
Here we are
you
on the
here to
moon.
infiltrate data and
You can
retrieve
use your
highly
operator here.
sensitive enemy
It's the law.
information.
All, or most Lua missions are crossfire, meaning Grineer and Corpus enemies will kill each other for your glorious, glorious entertainment. The moon is also home to the Halls of Ascension. This is one of them. I hate it, so I'm not going to trigger it. Here we found ourselves at the first
Be on the lookout for increased security measures.
Of the
enemy would
moon
rather
puzzles,
destroy
there
their
is
data
a
than
sensor
get
orb
into
up
our
there
hands.
with 3 beams that sweep
You're nearing
across.
the console. Trigger the alarms now,
So you have
and
to
they will start
dodge those,
destroying
step through the
data.
temporal distortion, step
The
through
moon's
the other
void
temporal
has had
distortion.
unforeseen
You'll find yourself here.
consequences.
There are
Be
Oregon
on the lookout
spectators, don't
for
get seen
localized
by them.
continuity
There can
disturbances.
be
You
2.
may be able to turn these to your advantage.
If you have a powerful enough bow, you can just shoot them out of the sky. If you don't, you should be invisible.
If you're a good shot and have a good bow, there can also be one down there, as I found out last time. So you step through that temporal distortion and you will find yourself back at the top of the stairs with a glowing pad. If you are Loki, the easiest way to do this is to set up a Spectre there at the bottom and switch teleport to it. Otherwise, run like hell, because this is very, very shortly timed, and that entire room is a cold proc. Just hack the thing. I did that backwards. But there you go. Step through the temporal distortion, you're back in the present,
This console has been severely damaged.
where
Can't
you
get
cannot
anything
hack
out
the
of
consoles
this.
because they are too far damaged. Meaning that at the end of every
You're still in the clear. No detection from enemy
spy vault,
sensors.
you need to find yourself in the past.
And that is the first vault that spawns on the moon, and I'm just gonna bullet jump from the wall here. Because I'm an expert.
I lied. I'm a liar. Don't listen to me. Listen to nothing I say. I'm the expert. Here we have the second.
Target console
This is the one I failed on last time.
is nearby. If you trigger the alarm,
Step through the temporal
the
distortion.
enemy will start destroying
Activate the
data.
training. Open the void rift. Step through the temporal distortion. There can and will be Oregon spectators in somewhere that will ruin your day. They work the same as sensor XMI, except they are far, far more hateful. So, now the garbage part about this one is that these roaming lasers will not only stun you, knock you back, but they will set off the alarms. So,
Watch out for these lasers. They not only stun you, but they set off the vault alarms. And they pass over this room quite perfectly.
if you are using Avara, it is safe to jump to there. If not, I have found that it is not safe to jump to there. And what you should do is jump to there. You will find yourself in the data room,
Severely damaged.
step through the temporal distortion, and you are at the vault.
Excellent work.
Congratulations.
A clean extraction with
Step-
no alarms.
Shoot the void rift, step back into the present, and make your way out.
When you go back to the present, this door has slid up and unlocked. This is the way out. I'm the expert.
Now we have found ourselves in the third spy vault. You
can't
can
get
just
anything out
walk
of it.
right up to the vault. It's broken. There are no temporal distortions for you to step through. Shoot this button here. There's a temporal distortion. Hey look, it's the beginning of a spy vault. The only thing that can mess up this vault is
Trigger
you.
the alarms now, and they will start destroying the data.
But, we just don't do things the usual way here. There's not a lot that can actually set off the alarms here, except you.
Go all the way to the left. Hack this, and you will see that there are lasers strung across this doorway. Approach it slowly. Shoot the button, and make your way as fast as possible through here, because that door will close on you. These lasers will sense you. Now what you can do is step on that pad and go through there and do some other boring things, or you could be a smart cookie and go through this void rift. That void rift will always be there. 100%, because I'm the expert. Shoot that. Hop back through the void rift. You have found yourself a brand new entrance. Shoot these so that you don't play yourself. And step through the temporal distortion. This is the part that I messed up at last time, because I can't recognize patterns.
This puzzle is annoying, and I'm probably going to be bad at it because I'm not good at memory sequences.
So I'm going to grab a pen and my hand and try to remember these patterns. Actually, some paper would be easier.
Failed again because I'm the expert.
Let's grab this port mail. I really hate this one, mostly because I legitimately have trouble recognizing patterns. So I'm trying to do this all kind of cross-handed. I hope that's correct. Because I wrote it pretty quickly. You will have multiple attempts at this puzzle. Writing it down quickly in just a hexagon is the easiest way to complete it if you are like me and cannot recognize patterns at all. And then you find yourself in the nice and healthy vault room. And there you go. Step through the temporal distortion. That is all of the unique spy vaults, except for the ones in the Orb Palace, which are annoying to find, trigger, and complete, so just, I can't show them to you. But beyond that, that's every unique spy vault that is on a planetary system.